Awesome. I am excited for what the Lord is busy with. On the youth camp, I had the privilege to work through everything that we've worked through the last 6 weeks on in the offering messages. This book that we're working through. I am excited for what we're busy with. It was very awesome for me to see how those teenagers' mind shifts were just shifting. They were grasping this and saying, I want to run with this. And it was absolutely awesome. So I am looking forward to the rest of this journey. But I experienced in my heart today that we're just going to have a bit of a recap. I think it's always good when you're busy, especially with something like a book or on an important journey, to at some point just stop a little bit and say, okay, I'm going to just look how far I've come, what I've learned, what has been invested into me, and then I'm going to go forward from there. So last week we looked at if you can worry, you can have faith. And we said that worrying is meditation on the negative. And faith is meditation on the good. So we know how to worry about something. Nothing is working out. I don't know what to do. You speak about to everyone about this. You wonder about it. You wake up at night. You dream about it. You write about it. When someone asks how it's going, you tell them this is what you're worrying about. If we use that exact same methodology, we will know how to have faith. We speak about it when someone asks how it's going. You say that when you have an opportunity to think about something, you think about that. So the exact same methodology we can use. Proverbs 4 verse 21 to 23 says, my son, attend to my words. We have to focus on because the words that we think about becomes what we speak and what we do. Consent and submit to my sayings. Let them not depart from your sight. Keep them in the center of your heart. That's so beautiful. Because what we keep in the center of our heart is what we think about. It's what we do. For they are life to those who find them, healing and health to their flesh. So that is what we should do with the words that God speaks to us. If we can worry, we can have faith. We can use that to help us move forward. Now, this is what we should think about, and this is where the recap comes in. We started our journey from ownership to stewardship. And we said that it's not my money. It is all God's money. We made a mind shift to say that we are walking around with God's wallet. And we are just stewarding what He has given us. This is not my money. I don't have the right to hold on to this and say, mine, mine, mine. I am just merely using what God has given me. James 1 verse 17 says, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above. It's not from my hard work. It's not from my effort. That is the grace of God that causes that to come into my life. And comes down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow or turning. God is my source. So the resources that I'm using is a gift from God. Money flows from God, the source, to the kingdom work that I am busy with. So that's the first mindset shift that we made. We said that I am not going to hold on to this. I'm going to realize that everything that I have comes from God. He is the source of that, and I'm just merely stewarding that. Then we moved on to this one in the exam time, that God is a multiplier. We say that we sometimes think that when we sow money into the kingdom, when we give tithes, offerings, and we bless people all around us, that it's times zero. It just disappears. It's gone. Another word that I did on this was, are you throwing money in the water? Or are you putting seed in the ground that will grow? And that's the exact same principle here. Hebrews 11 verse 6 says, but without faith, it is impossible to please God, to be satisfactory to Him. For whoever would come near to God must necessarily believe that God exists and that He is the rewarder. That's where it comes from. Of those who earnestly and diligently seek Him. So we believe that God is a multiplier, that whatever we bring to Him will multiply. It won't just disappear. So if you need a financial breakthrough in your life, I remember when we were done on this youth camp, so we started at 12, I think, with the sessions with the leaders, 12 o'clock at night on the last evening of the camp. So they've been camping for 6 days now. Well, 5 days, because so they've been camping for 5 days. They've had a kids camp with kids that are crazy busy around them. They've had a youth camp with teenagers that are hard, that doesn't want them to engage with them, but they've decided, okay, I'll trust you. So they've had a hard camp. And I said, you can either go to bed now, or you can come and sit, and this is going to change your life. We're going to speak about these principles. And a bunch of them went to bed immediately, and I had a group in front of me. And then with each session that we finished, some of them said, okay, I can't handle this anymore. If it's really okay, I'm just going to bed. I said, it's really okay. If you want this, I'm here. If you can't handle it now, if you don't have capacity now, it's good. There's no issue. But what was awesome to me is at 3 o'clock when we finished, and I still had one session left. We didn't do, if you can worry, you can have faith. We didn't do that one. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, they said, let's go. This is changing my life. I can't believe that no one has ever taught me this. So this changes us. And I beg them. That's what I want to get to now. He is a rewarder. I beg them. You have to sow. That you cannot not sow, because the bottom line is, if you trust God, do you trust Him? Then you have to sow. It's not about money. We think that tithes and offerings and seeds is about the physical 100 rand in your hand. It's not about that. It is about trusting God. And remember when we spoke about this one, trusting God with my finances is the bottom rung of a ladder. I want those teenagers to be able to pray for sick people and they will be healed. I want them to be able to see a restoration in a relationship, in their family, in their health. And if I want them to reach that level, I have to start with finances, because that leads to the true riches. Luke 6 verse 38 says, give and good gifts will be given you. So the moment you realize that when I start trusting God with my finances, everything else will follow. The true treasures will follow. The next message, now this one was one of my favorites. It's not about the golden eggs. It's about the goose that lay the eggs. And if we realize that that goose that lay the eggs is the following. Deuteronomy 8 verse 18. But you shall earnestly remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you power to get wealth. That is the goose. The goose is God giving us the power to get wealth. Now, I shared with him this testimony that I didn't share here in church, but I want to share it with you this morning. So there was this pastor, Bob Phillips. He had a big church in Texas. And the writer of this book, Andrew Womack, it's one of his friends, colleagues. And he had a huge church, $13 million building. That's not everything inside. Then a tornado came, and it wiped everything out. In a couple of 10 minutes, everything was gone. A couple of hours later, CNN pitches up to the scene, and this pastor was standing in front with his hard hat on, and he said two things. He said, this is not of God. This is an attack of the enemy. The second thing that he said is, I will have a building and replace everything that is 3 times as good as what I had. And that's where he ended the interview. Because he realized that the golden eggs is not what it's about. It's about getting the power to get wealth from God. And it did happen like that. His building was replaced and everything inside, and it was 3 times as valuable as what he had. Money isn't your true asset. The true treasure is the blessing and the favor of God that produces the riches. And you do not lose that when someone steals something of you. You do not lose that when everything is wiped out by a tornado. It's about the blessing and the favor of God that flows from relationship with Him. This is the true treasure, the true riches. It is that relationship that we have with Him that leads to everything else. The last one that we looked at is seek first versus leftovers. This one blew my mind. But seek, aim at, and strive after, first of all, His kingdom and His righteousness, His doing and being right. And then, there is an and then. It happens. There is an outflow. There is an effect after us giving. All these things taken together, the couple of verses before that just speaks about food and clothing and housing and all of those. All these things taken together will be given you besides. And this revelation blew my mind. If God can get the money through me, He will get it to me. I want to be a straw. I want to be a straw where God can know that if He gives me $1 million, what is necessary to find the kingdom will find the kingdom. And as the money flows through me, there will be plenty left over for me. So instead of saying, I'm going to do whatever I have to do, and whatever is left over, I'll give to God. We have a mindset shift and say, God, I will seek first your kingdom, and I will first sow into your kingdom. And then whatever is left over will be this divine flow that just flows through me. God is able, 2 Corinthians 9, verse 8, to make all grace, every favor, and earthly blessing come to you in abundance. That's the ability that He has. This is powerful. I know that it's changing your mind just as much as it's changing mine. I'm excited to see what the Lord is busy with, and I'm eager to see the fruit of what we've sown into this.